I'm back again with 13 more Greek Mythology D&D subclasses based on your suggestions from the comments. You guys loved the previous video where I assigned each of the Greek Olympians to a D&D class and made subclasses for them. So I've been inspired by some other Greek gods and created some more subclasses for you guys. Here's an overview of each Greek god and what their D&D class and unique abilities would be. Just like last time, to make the subclasses playable and not extremely overpowered, they are long-lost descendants of the deities. Whether that's through reproduction, adoption, or creating life through divine thoughts. If you enjoyed this, the subclasses are available to be played right now for free. Check the link in the description after the video. You can find the full guide and get started making your characters right away. Now let's see who's up first. First up we have Kratos, the god of strength. Kratos, loyal to Zeus and just like him, is known to be brutal and merciless. As a god of strength, he could easily fall into a few classes, especially barbarian or fighter. I've gone for fighter as it felt right to match him with his siblings. Nike, the goddess of victory, Bia, the goddess of force, and Zelus, the god of glory. These all seemed like more fighter traits to me. Now let me show you the Crusher subclass. At level 3, a descendant of Kratos learns how to use their superior strength in hand-to-hand combat. When they grapple an enemy, they can inflict further damage through slamming, smash the enemy into the ground and knock them prone, choking, squeeze the life out of the enemy, or throwing, launch the enemy away from them. Also at 3rd level, they can use their strength instead of dexterity for their armor bonus, because why would you need anything other than strength? At level 7, a descendant of Kratos just gets stronger and stronger. They can now grapple larger creatures, and those resisting them have a harder time avoiding their immense strength. Also at 7th level, they are sometimes just too strong to die. When they are reduced to 0 health, they can survive on their last breath and continue to fight. At level 10, their immense strength and force shows through their weapon attacks. Depending on the damage type of the weapon, they can cause further devastating effects onto anyone in their way. With a bludgeoning weapon, they can crush the enemy under the weight of their weapon, stunning them. With a piercing weapon, they can cut straight through an enemy and deal extra damage. With a slashing weapon, they can carve up an enemy's vital spots, reducing their movement and opportunity to fight back. At 15th level, no enemy is too big for the Descendant. They can now grapple enemies so much larger than themselves. When they do, the enemy's bones start to crush from their mighty strength. At level 18, they will go down fighting. When their health drops low, they gain a temporary health boost to keep them going. This new lease of life invigorates all of their attacks, making sure they bring down as many of their enemies with them as they can. Now that's a really strong opener. Who do we have next? Here we have Eros, the god of love, desire, and attraction. Eros, like his mother Aphrodite, is able to control the complex nature of love in all its forms. You might be thinking Eros should be one of the charisma classes, but he is known for using his iconic bow and arrows to manipulate the emotions of others. So I've gone for Ranger, as I felt this offered a different and exciting option for the Ranger class. Let me show you the Desire Conclave subclass. At level 3, a descendant of Eros can manipulate the emotions of others with their attacks from their bow. When they hit a creature, they can inflict one of these emotions onto them. The Love Arrow. The target will fall in love with another creature and is completely charmed by them. The Lust Arrow. The target will be infatuated by another creature and the focus will be consumed by them. The Hate Arrow. The target will be full of hate towards another creature and must attack them. The Disgust Arrow. The target will be disgusted by another creature and cannot move towards them. Also at 3rd level, they can transform themselves into what another creature sees as the most beautiful. During this time, they gain a boost to all of their charisma. At level 7, wings sprout from their body and they can now fly for a period of time. Also at 7th level, the arrows are naturally magical and overcome any resistances or immunities. At level 11, a descendant of Eros learns some new emotional arrows that they can influence others with. The Awe Arrow. The target will be in complete awe of another creature and be stunned by their beauty. The Heartache Arrow. The target will be filled with heartache and sadness, and everything becomes a struggle. And at level 15, their body will become so aesthetically pleasing that enemies will hesitate to hurt their beauty. I love that subclass. Who's next? From Eros to Eris, the goddess of strife and discord. Eris relishes in the turmoil and conflict between others, known for throwing the golden apple that started the Trojan War. For me, one of the most mischievous characters in this list. So I had to go for the most mischievous class, the Rogue. Let's take a look at the Sower of Discord subclass. At level 3, a descendant of Eris can study a creature and understand their conflict within them, making it easier to manipulate them. Also at 3rd level, they can utilise their famous Apple of Discord to manipulate both sides of a battle. They can throw their apple down and any nearby creatures are empowered. At level 9, they can manipulate the minds of their enemies, forcing the enemy to attack whoever the descendant wants, causing chaos from within. Also at 9th level, a descendant of Eris can cause discord from the shadows and teleport into the darkness. At level 13, their influence from the Apple of Discord grows. Its aura increases and those that are within are empowered even further. Also at 13th level, the descendant can imbue their manipulation into harmful written words, just like Eris did on the Golden Apple. If any creature reads these words, they will be filled with negative thoughts and become weakened from it. And at level 17, they become a master manipulator. They can telepathically make creatures their puppet, and the descendant can issue commands that the creature must follow. If like me and you love the chaotic alignment, this might be the subclass for you. And now we have another lover of mischief and chaos, Pan, the half-goat god of the wilds. Pan utilises their untamed spirit to create mischief and care for the wilderness. I think it comes as no surprise that Pan is my druid. I'd be stupid to put him anywhere else. This is the Circle of the Hybrid subclass. At level 3, a descendant of Pan can harness the powers of their part man, part goat ancestor. Whenever they wild shape, they can choose the hybrid shape instead. This allows them to gain some physical features from their chosen beast, but remain partly themselves, allowing them to continue to cast spells at a cost of some of their bestial powers. At level 6, inspired by Pan's creation of the panpipes, the descendant can give an intoxicating performance. It can be captivating to charm all those that can hear it, or a powerful lullaby that puts those to sleep, or a haunting tune that instills fear into those that dare listen. Also at 6th level, their skills navigating the large wilderness allows them to increase their movement over long distances. At level 10, the descendant's experience of hybrid shaping allows them to combine two beasts together. Half their body transforms into one beast and the other half into another, giving them the versatility to get the best out of both beasts. Also at 10th level, they can let out a panic cry. This cry inspires allies and gives them a speed boost, whereas enemies are slowed in their terror. And at level 14, the descendant's strong ties to the wilderness allows them to call for allies in battle. They can summon a stampede of wild creatures that charge forward from them, dealing some big damage and knocking enemies down to the ground. Hope you guys are enjoying the video so far. Remember to like and subscribe if you are, that would mean so much to me. Now, who do we have up next? Here we have Asclepius, the god of medicine and healing. Asclepius, as the son of Apollo, has incredible knowledge of medicine and gives immense healing. Now the obvious thing would be to put him down as cleric, but Asclepius doesn't link to the godly devotion that drives clerics. He utilises materials and his knowledge of the medicinal arts to craft healing concoctions. So instead, inspired by the alchemist subclass, I've gone for artificer. Let me show you the specialist of the healer subclass. At level 3, a descendant of Asclepius can draw on their innate healing abilities to create health potions. They can sacrifice some of their own health to imbue into a potion, allowing the drinker to heal in a dire strait. At 5th level, they become a symbol of healing. The descendant gains resistance to necrotic and poison damage. At level 9, their experience distributing healing potions grows stronger. They can now magically teleport their potions to another creature that desperately needs it. Also at 9th level, the descendant's knowledge of the healing craft can save others from death. They can lay their hands on another creature that has died recently and bring them back to life. The god of death will not be happy. At 15th level, they become a master against disease and death. The descendant is now immune to necrotic and poison damage. Also at level 15, their healing potions become more powerful. When a creature drinks a healing potion made by the descendant, it pulls forward their own inner strength, providing a much needed health boost in the midst of battle. This is a very cool support class that I'm excited to try myself. Now, who do we have coming up? Persephone, the goddess of spring and queen of the underworld, who spends the spring months on Earth with her mother Demeter and the autumn months in the underworld with her husband Hades. She represents the duality of life and death, You might expect Persephone, just like her mother, to be a druid, but again, that's obvious, so let's do something different. As a daughter of Demeter and Zeus, two of the first Olympians, Persephone has powerful magic innate within her. Making her a druid would lean her into the goddess of spring's side. Making her a necromantic class would favour her queen of the underworld role. So I've made her a sorcerer, and created a subclass that lets her descendants play with both sides of Persephone. Because isn't that what makes her so intriguing? This is the Equinox Sorcery subclass. At level 3, the descendant of Persephone starts a seasonal cycle. This is similar to the Lunar Sorcery subclass. After each day, the descendant moves from spring to autumn and back. Whilst in this cycle, they gain different aura effects. In spring, all allies around them can restore some health. In autumn, all allies deal extra damage. Also at 3rd level, they gain different spells based on what season they're in. Whilst in spring, they get access to spells like Goodberry and Grasping Vine. Whilst in autumn, they gain access to spells like Ray of Sickness and Blight. At level 6, the Descendant's connection with the different seasons enhances their meta magic. In spring, it is easier to use their meta magic features on their conjuration spells as they bring revitalizing growth. In their autumn cycle, it is easier to use their meta magic features on their necromantic spells. At level 14, their aura increases in size, duration, healing, and damage. It also gains some new effects. Whilst in spring, it protects allies from attacks. Whilst in autumn, enemies within the aura take necrotic damage. And at level 18, the Descendant of Persephone, instead of swapping between spring and autumn, has both seasons active, and they gain all of their effects at the same time. If you like the idea of your character having a new aesthetic every day, this is the one for you. Not just one god, but 9 of them. The Muses, the goddesses of artistic inspiration. The Muses represent all different art forms, from beautiful dance to terrible tragedy. Now, what class would fit best for an artistic performing group of goddesses? There is only one answer, and it is Bard, my favourite class in D&D. Here we have the College of the Arts subclass. At level 3, after each rest, the Descendant will gain a new muse to be their inspiration for the day. Whilst they are inspired by the muse, they gain the power of a different art form and a greater ability and a skill tied to the muse. Inspired by Calliope, the muse of epic poetry, they are better at the survival skill. They can also recite epic poetry that will empower an ally. Inspired by Cleo, the muse of history, they are better at the history skill. Funny enough. They can study a creature and from their knowledge learn how best to hurt it. Inspired by Erato, the muse of love poetry, they are better at the persuasion skill. They can also recite love poetry to charm a creature. Inspired by Euterpe, the muse of music, they are better at the performance skill. They can also sing a wondrous lullaby to put another creature to sleep. Inspired by Melpomene, the muse of tragedy, they are better at the intimidation skill. They can also give a beautifully sad performance to frighten a creature. Inspired by Polymnia, the muse of hymns and sacred poetry, they are better at the religion skill. They can also recite a wondrous hymn that can heal an ally. Inspired by Terpsichore, the muse of dance, they are better at the acrobatic skill. They can also produce some dazzling footwork that makes them harder to be attacked. Inspired by Thalia, the muse of comedy, they are better at the deception skill. They can perform a hilarious joke that will enlighten all their allies with some healing. After all, laughter is the best medicine. Inspired by Eulania, the muse of astronomy, they are better at the investigation skill. They can overwhelm and stun a creature with a display of the vast expanse of the universe. Also at 3rd level, the Descendant can give a wondrous performance that inspires their allies. They can gain some temporary health, a heroic inspiration, or even recover a spell slot. Your art can do incredible things. At level 6, they can be inspired by 2 muses at the same time, gaining both the skill boosts and abilities. And at level 14, it happens again. They can now be inspired by 3 muses at the same time. Also at 14th level, their knowledge performing grows even further. The Descendant can produce a wondrous performance in battle, giving their allies an extra +10 to their next roll. This subclass is my favourite and would be great if you thrive on versatility. If you're looking for the perfect campaign for these subclasses, or even a one-shot to drop them into your current campaign, I'm currently working on a D&D campaign that transports players into the world of Greek mythology. The first one-shot, called The First of Heracles' Trials, is available right now. Kronos is altering history to undermine the Olympians' influence on the world. Your character's ancestors have called upon you to stop this, first by helping Heracles face off against the Nemean lion. This can be found with all the subclasses in the link in the description, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on the full campaign being released very soon. Now, back to some more Greek gods. And up next is Phobos, the god of fear. His presence, and even the mention of his name, instills despair and panic. Just like his father Ares, he is a skilled warrior and uses fear to terrify his enemies in battle. Phobos is my barbarian, and I'm excited to show you the path of the Fear-monger subclass. At level 3, the descendant of Phobos can instill fear with their presence. When they rage, enemies around them are overcome with terror, finding it harder to muster the courage to fight their descendant. Also at 3rd level, they learn to strike fear into anyone that dares look them in the eye. Those that take the risk are overcome with panic and are frightened of the descendant. At level 6, the descendant can conjure an illusion of a creature's greatest fear that looms in the darkness. Only the creature that it is hunting can see it, and if the creature lets fear take over, they will be stunned in terror. At level 10, they can now magically swap places with their illusion. The creature's fears might just become real. Also at 10th level, they become an embodiment of fear itself, and are now immune to being frightened and resist any psychic damage. And at level 14, the descendant of Phobos learns to deal extra mind-numbing damage with their strikes. These attacks are so strong that creatures can even become paralyzed with fear. I would not want to get on the wrong side of this guy. Now, who's next? From terror and fear to sunshine and rainbows, we have Iris, the messenger goddess and goddess of rainbows. Iris is known to bring light to the world, which could easily fall into a couple classes, specifically the divine classes of cleric or paladin. She wasn't known for her combat, so I've gone for cleric. She was known to be the messenger primarily for Hera, who in my previous video is also a cleric, which ties them together quite nicely. Let's take a look at the Iridescence Domain subclass. At level 3, the descendant of Iris can bond to one of the colours of the rainbow at a time. Whilst bonded, they have a resistance to a certain damage type. Also at 3rd level, a descendant of the messenger goddess gains increased movement as they level up, just like the monks on Arven movement, but with no restriction on armour. At level 6, they can summon a beautiful rainbow in front of them. The descendant and their allies can swiftly travel from one end down to the other in a second. Also at 6th level, after they are attacked by another creature, they can swiftly blast them with iridescent light that matches the damage type of their colour bond. At level 17, they are a symbol of pure iridescence. Their colour bond resistance is now an immunity. Also at 17th level, the descendant becomes an avatar of the rainbow. They can refract light and create 6 illusory duplicates around them, kind of like the ultimate mirror image spell. All 7 of them shine a different colour. They move with the descendant and mimic their actions, making it impossible to track which one is real. Finally, a subclass that gives you an excuse to buy dice in every colour. And up next we have Tyche, the goddess of fortune and chance. A warlock's magic is tied to another being or force outside of their control, just like Tyche's power being tied to the uncontrollable forces of luck and fate. As a descendant of Tyche, they can take on seemingly impossible odds as their patron guides them with a little extra luck. Let me show you the Fortune Patron subclass. At level 3, a descendant of Tyche is just naturally lucky. They gain a bonus to any skill check even if they have no experience with it. Call it beginner's luck. Also at 3rd level, they can dictate another creature's fortune. When fate needs a push, they can dole out a little extra good luck for their friends or bad luck for their enemies. At level 6, fortune is in their favour and their attacks are more likely to tip over into those all-important critical hits. And if a critical fail ever looms, fate lends them another chance. Also at 6th level, they can emanate prosperity to those around them. All allies within their aura gain some extra luck in everything they do, whereas enemies will find the tides of fortune running against them. At level 10, the descendant learns how to siphon good luck from their enemies. They can drain them of their fortunes, dealing some big damage, invoking bad luck onto them and boosting their own health with the stolen luck. And at level 14, they can manipulate the weaves of fate and bestow perfect luck or terrible misfortune onto another creature. They can seal another's fate by ensuring a perfect success for an ally or a critical fail for an enemy. Find yourself fortunate to not be on the wrong side of them. If you're enjoying this and haven't yet seen my subclasses for the Greek Olympians like Zeus, Athena, Poseidon, and the others, check out my previous video. There'll be a link at the end of this video, make sure you don't miss out. Now, who do we have up next? Hypnos, the god of sleep. Hypnos' power comes from a discipline over the body. He can control your most essential energy source, revitalizing or diminishing your life force, as he gives you restful nights or tormented nightmares. This link to manifesting power through the body makes him perfect for the monk class. Let's take a look at the Warrior of the Slumber subclass. At level 3, the descendant of Hypnos has complete control over their own consciousness. They cannot be put to sleep by any means other than their own. At 3rd level, they learn to use their knowledge of the unconscious realm in battle. They gain 2 new focus point features. Exhaustion. They can expend focus points when they attack to exhaust an enemy, wearing down their ability to act and think. Or sleep. They can expend focus points to try and put a creature into a slumber. Also at 3rd level, the descendant of Hypnos can enter a speedy snooze on command. They can fall asleep for 1 minute to restore health and focus points. And at level 6, they learn a new focus point ability, Sleepy Strike. They can expend focus points when they attack to knock their enemy unconscious. Also at level 6, when the descendant sees another creature knocked fatally out, they can put them into a safe slumber that will stabilize them. At level 11, the descendant learns to deprive a creature of their rest. This lack of sleep conjures hallucinations, making it harder for the creature to focus in battle. And at level 17, they can now enter a powerful dream state and gain some incredible new abilities. They are now resistant to all damage, they can now fly, their attacks deal extra damage, and enemies have a harder time avoiding their attacks. Don't sleep on this subclass. Now, who do we have next? Hypnos' brother, Thanatos, the god of non-violent death. We tend to think of necromantic aligned characters as the more morally grey classes like Warlock, but Thanatos is specifically the god of peaceful death, and he held this ideal as a strong tenet in his work for Hades. Tenets, you say? Sounds like a paladin to me. Let me introduce you to the Oath of the Non-Violent subclass. At level 3, a descendant of Thanatos, when they activate their channel divinity, can target a creature with low health to peacefully end their suffering. Also at 3rd level, they can imbue their weapon to empower themselves to aid their cause. When they release a soul from painful agony, they will restore some of their own health. At level 7, their connection to the underworld grants them resistance to necrotic damage. Also at 7th level, a descendant of the god of death learns to merge into the shadows. Kind of like Misty Step, but they can only teleport into darkness. They can take another creature with them, willing or not. Death comes for us all. At 15th level, they can walk the shadowy veil between life and death. When they drop to 0 health, rather than falling unconscious, they can continue to fight, but this doesn't stop their death saving throws. And the big one, at level 20, the descendant can mantle the powers of death. Their body wraps in shadows, wings of darkness sprout from their back, and their eyes carry the haunted inevitability of their enemy's end. They gain immunity to necrotic damage, they can now fly, enemies nearby become frightened, and their allies have a better chance at succeeding their death saving throws. This subclass has some really interesting roleplay potential, and I'd love to hear how you guys would bring it to life. Pun not intended. It's Hecate, the goddess of witchcraft and ghosts. Last but not least, the goddess who sees magic as a craft to be studied just had to be in the wizard class. Their descendants study the shadowy magic of the triple goddess. At level 3, a descendant of Hecate learns the knowledge of the crossroads of life. After each rest, they can choose one of their triple goddess forms to take for the day. The maiden represents inspiration, and they can give an ally a boost to all their dice rolls, similar to a rogue's reliable talent. The mother represents protection, and they can ensure allies get the maximum healing. The crone represents matriarchal power, and they can curse an enemy so half the damage they deal is taken back onto themselves. At level 6, the descendant learns to conjure ghostly apparitions. They can cast spells through them, and if the descendant is ever attacked, they can magically swap places with the spectral apparition and let it take the damage instead. At level 10, they can now summon 2 ghostly apparitions, with them making up the triple goddess. And at level 14, the descendant resonates with pure magic. When they cast a spell, they can duplicate it through their ghostly apparitions at the same time. Now that is magical. So that's 13 more subclasses. For those of you that asked about Hestia in the last video, descendants of Hestia are the dungeon masters. As a DM, you embody the spirit of the hearth and home, just like her. The full guide is available in the description, so please go and check it out if you want to find out more. Remember, the one-shot is in there too, so you can start playing right away. Make sure to follow us on YouTube for when we release the whole campaign. If you haven't seen the previous video yet, where I did the same for the 13 Olympians, please go and check that out too. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Thanks so much for all your support. Let me know in the comments what you guys think and which subclass you'd be most excited to play. And I'll see you all next time.